This is ecoTEC's ecoTEC Roundup show from Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to electric vehicles in Aotearoa. Switch today at ecotecity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean cars and green energy. Thanks for joining me. Before we get going today, a little correction. In last week's show, I mentioned that the Tesla Semi had an efficiency of 2 kilowatt hours per mile, based on what I had said during the Tesla Semi event. Elon Musk has since said on Twitter that the efficiency of the Tesla Semi is 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile, so we are sorry for the confusion. For a while now, Ford has been pretty open about the fact that it wants to move away from EV batteries containing nickel and cobalt, shifting to lithium iron phosphate or LFP batteries instead. Now, thanks to a presentation given online last week by Lisa Drake, Ford's Vice President of EV Industrialization, we've learned Ford wants to introduce LFP batteries in its Mustang Mach-E models next year, followed shortly thereafter by a switch for the F-150 Lightning. Less energy dense and less power dense than NMC lithium-ion cells, LFP cells contain no cobalt or nickel, are cheaper to produce and have a longer lifespan. Neither Ford nor Drake would commit to exactly which models will get LFP batteries, but because NMC cells have the edge when it comes to high-performance applications, we'd expect high-performance models like the Mustang Mach-E GT and GT Performance to keep NMC cells, while other variants switch to LFP. One of the benefits of having so much computer technology inside modern cars is the ability for automakers to push software updates to add new features and address software bugs. This week, we learned that Volkswagen is about to push out a software update for the 2021 and some 2022 model year ID4s in North America. There are plenty of new features, including the addition of auto hold, some new infotainment modes and screens, and some bug fixes. It's common for automakers to do this via an over-the-air software update, but sadly this update, which will prepare cars for future over-the-air updates, requires customers to visit their Volkswagen dealer to have the upgrade done in person. According to Volkswagen's press release, some customers may also get a replacement 12-volt battery to address a separate issue with early Volkswagen ID4s. Last year, Tesla made some waves when it removed radar sensors from its vehicles, then earlier this year, removed ultrasonic sensors as part of a shift towards vision-only autopilot operation. Earlier this year, Tesla applied to the FCC for permission to use a new radar suite in its vehicles, gaining a 6-month confidential treatment to prevent the FCC from releasing details of that new radar system. This week, Tesla has apparently asked for a short-term extension to that confidentiality treatment, stating that it will market the new radar system from the middle of January. Elon Musk had previously stated safety would be better with pure vision than with vision and radar, later adding that only a very high-resolution radar paired with vision would improve vehicle safety. It's not clear if this new system is said very high-resolution radar mentioned, but since Tesla is planning an upgrade to Model 3, it's certainly plausible. Earlier this year, we travelled to Los Angeles to see the Sono Motors Sedan solar electric car for the first time, and at that press event, Sono's team seemed pretty confident about their future. A few months later, we learn that not all is well at Sono, with the company founders issuing a public statement detailing some pretty significant financial struggles. With poor third-quarter results, Sono Motors says its Sedan EV is on the chopping block and may be cancelled to enable it to focus on a more lucrative side to the company, business-to-business automotive solar panel development. Before making that decision, though, the company has issued a last-chance Hail Mary purchase campaign, asking its existing reservation holders to commit to buying the Sedan EV in exchange for a €3,000 discount. The company says it needs 3,500 customers to pay up front in the next 50 days, so watch this space. It's no secret that Tesla is currently fighting several legal cases through the courts, some of them relating to decisions made by the company and some relating to promises made. This week, there was movement in a class action lawsuit brought against Tesla by owners who say the company engaged in fraud and the company was, quote, misleading the public regarding its autopilot, enhanced autopilot, and full self-driving capability, end quote. While owners are frustrated over the multi-year wait for autonomous capabilities, something many of them paid large amounts of money for, Tesla filed a motion this week to have the case dismissed, stating, quote, mere failure to release a long-term aspirational goal is not fraud, end quote. It continues, arguing that it has been constantly improving its autopilot technology and says the complaint doesn't identify specific timelines when it promised that it would have the technology ready. As we covered in last week's show, Volkswagen is readying its mid-cycle refresh for the Volkswagen ID.3, the first car built on its electric MEB platform. This week, Volkswagen went a little further, teasing the MEB Plus platform that it says will further enhance the capabilities of all future MEB platform vehicles. Building on the MEB platform, the MEB Plus platform will mark a move towards a new modular battery pack system that the company says will offer up to 700 kilometers or 434 miles of range and offer charging speeds of between 175 and 200 kilowatts. While Volkswagen stopped short of stating exactly when this new version of the MEB platform will enter into production, it is essentially an incremental step towards higher speed charging, longer ranges per charge, and hopefully more affordable EVs over the next few years. Earlier this year, Ford announced it would give its Ford dealerships until the end of October to decide if they wanted to become certified EV dealers by joining its Model E program. Under that program, only Ford EV certified dealerships would be allowed to sell and service EVs, and while Ford extended their deadline for dealerships to sign on, it's now stating that 2/3 of its dealerships have already signed up. While signing on comes with some significant financial costs for the dealerships, since there's additional training and requirements to have on-site charging and servicing equipment, it's good to see so many dealerships get on the EV bandwagon. However, while Ford has 2/3 of dealerships signed on, it now finds itself the subject of a class action from some of the dealerships who didn't. Those dealerships say they should be allowed under franchise law to sell the Ford models they want. That includes EVs. EuroNCAP, the European crash test organisation responsible for rating all European cars, has published its final crash test reports for the year, and there are 3 more EVs rated. First up, the Volkswagen ID Buzz, which received a full 5-star rating, gaining 92% for adult occupant and 87% for child occupant safety. It scored an impressive 90% for its advanced safety assist features, which includes things like lane keep assist, lane departure warning and emergency braking, but came up pretty short on its vulnerable road user protection, scoring just 60%. Also released at the same time were results for the Lucid Air, suggesting that the luxury EV is readying full-scale European deliveries. Earning 5 stars overall, the executive sedan gets 90% for adult occupant and 91% for child occupant, one of the best scores we've seen for child protection. Safety assist earns it 84%, while vulnerable road users, again, were the weakest area with a 78% rating. Finally, for the EuroNCAP crash test roundup, the MG4 EV, which also scored 5 stars. Its adult occupant and child occupant scores were lower than the other 2 EVs tested at 83 and 80% respectively, but its safety assist and vulnerable road users weren't that dissimilar at 78 and 75% respectively. It's great to see so many new cars get 5-star crash test ratings, but let's see some better pedestrian protection scores, eh? With Elon Musk now owner of Twitter, there's been some discussion online about what impact that fact will have on Tesla's competitors in the auto industry. Some automakers no longer advertise on the platform, and some industry CEOs, like Henrik Fisker, have left the platform completely. Fisker stated he was worried about the CEO of a rival company owning Twitter. That seems to have been illustrated this week, though, when Elon Musk used Twitter to respond to a story from Insider claiming Lucid is calling customers up to 14 times to convince them not to cancel their car orders. Musk, who has expressed disdain in the past for both Lucid and its CEO, Peter Rawlinson happens to be an ex-Tesla executive, said on Twitter that, quote, "they are not long for this world," end quote. Musk has 120 million Twitter followers right now, so he carries some significant influence. Before we get to the last two stories, a quick question. Are you in the market for a new electric car? Because if you are and you live in Aotearoa, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide over at ecotricity.co.nz. It's packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes plenty of details about incentives you can get, charging providers you can charge up with, and of course, how to get clean, green, renewable energy at home. So follow the link below and start your journey today. It's been quite a while since Scotland had an automaker that it could call its own, but this week that changed when startup Munro EV unveiled its rugged Mark I EV. Essentially an all-electric go-anywhere equivalent to the original Land Rover, this 4x4 promises a payload capacity of 2,200 pounds, 1,000 kilograms, towing capacity of 7,700 pounds, 3,400 kilograms, and seating for 5. It comes with AC and DC quick charge capabilities, and while it's neither particularly quick, the sprint time is just under 5 seconds, or fast, top speed is 80 miles per hour or 128 kilometers per hour, it's built for a hard life, not a fast life. Prices are claimed to start from just under £50,000 sterling, excluding VAT, but only 50 will be made next year. I'm going to admit, I'd quite like to have a go. And finally, while we cover a whole lot of electric cars on this channel, the reality of decarbonising transportation is that we need to invest much more in micromobility solutions rather than full-size vehicles. And that, of course, means more electric bicycles, human bicycle hybrids, and e-scooters, among lots of other cool types of micromobility. But while e-scooters are great in cities where appropriate routes and rules are laid out to keep everyone safe, they're no use to people who use wheelchairs. Except they now are. Enter French startup Omni, which produces a type of e-scooter that can attach to a traditional wheelchair, giving its user the chance to use an e-scooter like non-wheelchair users can. Thanks to a new partnership with Tier Mobility, a new program that will see wheelchair-accessible e-scooters deployed, making sustainable, independent, ad hoc e-mobility that you can rent a reality for more Parisians. And on that note, we are done for the day. Before I go though, do make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And of course, if you haven't already switched yet, why not switch to Aotearoa's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. It is super easy to make the switch, and in doing so, you'll help the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. I'll be back with more awesome content very soon, as will the lovely Gavin, Kiwi EV Shoebridge. He's just filmed the lovely review of the Volvo C40 Recharge, so check it out if you haven't. And of course, I'll be back here next weekend for our usual roundup show. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Nikki Gordon Bloomfield. Kekite. See you next time.